What is going on, guys? My name is Ghosty Russ, and today we are looking at the 2026 Trick or Treat Studios catalog. Let's get started. We have a long way to go. Alright, let's jump into the 2026 Trick or Treat Studios catalog. As you can see right here, we have our first page, and I really like how they do this every year with a kind of a flip through digital book. So we have Hellraiser with new for 2026. We got a line of masks. I am very, very excited for these. Of course, we have Pinhead. We have a limit configuration, which is not new. The Chatterer, Butterball, a Retro Pinhead, and Dr. Chenard. So, I am definitely wanting to add the Pinhead to my collection, for sure. Probably, I think Chatterer and Butterball would be sweet to have, and of course the Retro Pinhead would be sick. But I think if I can just get, Pinhead, Chatterer, and Butterball, I'd be pretty happy. Another limit configuration into the collection would actually be very welcome, because the one that I have that is just kind of the static prop is kind of coming apart. I don't know how to really explain that. I'll probably do a video at some point going over my limit configuration collection that I have. It's pretty small, but it's pretty sick. Moving right along. Oh, okay, we got Halloween with, doesn't look like anything new. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're going forward with the economy and just the face mask. The vacuum form, I think, is a very popular mask. But yeah, the economy and the just face mask, like the latex face mask, I'm a little surprised to see still on here. And as you can see, the butcher knife, the foam knife, the poster knife, and the 78 coveralls. Moving on, we have more Halloween with Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Curse. So we got our Thorn trilogy. Again, nothing new. H2O Resurrection and the Blumhouse trilogy. Again, none of these are anything new. So we'll just move right on. Okay, we have the Rob Zombie line. Again, nothing new, but still good to see that they're keeping these things going. Okay, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we have the new for 2026. We have the so we have Retro Killing Mask and Retro Pretty Woman. That's pretty sick. I guess those are going to be like the kind of the old school like vacuum form masks. And of course, we have the Candy Pail Chainsaw Prop. Chainsaw accessory returning, I guess. The 30-inch plus chainsaw is new. And moving along, nothing new here except the bracelet and the tie, which, I mean, I guess those are pretty cool things to add, but I don't know. I would just assume get them off of somebody that makes them, I guess, independently. I guess you'd probably get better quality, but Trick or Treat Studios is kind of known for producing pretty good, like, decent quality stuff to kind of, like this. It's not the most high-end stuff, but for the price point, Trick or Treat Studios does have a lot of solid stuff. And it looks like in this, we just get another new tie. Nothing new here. Okay, Terrifier. Looks like we are getting a couple of new additions, which, of course, we have all the art stuff. Really like to see that. I really need to add some Art the Clown stuff into the collection. I probably, even though it's not new, I really want to try to get the deluxe. I really want to get my hands on like the Tinsley transfers that it's like based off of like the real deal makeup. But yeah, I think a deluxe from Tots would be pretty sick as well. But it looks like we are getting Victoria. That's pretty fucking sick. Santa Deluxe Art, Art Candy Pail, and Victoria the Clown. I think that is super sick. And now we are moving on more away from scary stuff and into kind of pop culture. We get Cheech and Chong masks. That's pretty sick if that's what you're into. Beavis and Butthead masks, nothing new. We are getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I think that is going to be interesting to see, because I've seen, I don't know if it's just kind of new to me or what, but I've seen a lot of people kind of making or showing off Ninja Turtle masks, and while I love Ninja Turtles, I don't have anything Ninja Turtles in the collection, and I don't really think I would have space for it. But I think it's pretty sick to see, new for 2026, a whole line. Of course, we have all 4 turtles. We have Shredder's helmet. We have Krang. We have a foot soldier. And, of course, we have the retros and a Casey Jones mask. Various weapons. Now, this is something that I'm excited to see, but I already did take a peek at this, and I will say that I'm a little bit disappointed. So we have the Fallout collection, which I believe is all new for 2026. So with the Amazon Prime show, Tots has gotten, I guess, the Fallout license. And, I mean, there's some cool stuff. They have a glowing ghoul. I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. The Thirst Zapper is really, really cool. Of course, we have a vault suit. Different, guy and girl. The Shish Kebab sword. So, some cool stuff. A retro style power armor helmet. And then we get these, which is, the Vault Boy stuff, which nothing new. And then we just get like a bunch of metal signs. And then with the TV show tie-in, we have vault suits from the TV show, the ghoul, retro ghoul. I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot more cooler stuff with the Fallout license. I've got a Fallout collection that I don't show off at all. I have like the Pip-Boy edition from Fallout 4. I don't have a game anymore, just the actual case and the Pip-Boy. And then I've got a original run Nuka-Cola Quantum. Got a lunchbox from my friend Billy. And I actually have a couple of Nuka-Colas. I have these are props. I have a regular Nuka-Cola and a Nuka-Cola Quantum that were made by the guy that made the bottles for the TV show. So pretty sick. Pretty much like screen used mold type stuff. And moving on to RoboCop, I'm gonna start kind of going through these a little quicker just because we are in the 20s and there's 120 pages of this. So RoboCop, new stuff for 2026. Nothing really piquing my interest. The Retro Bozo is pretty cool. That might be worth picking up. The Goon, the Old Witch, Crypt Keeper, Vault Keeper. Nothing crazy. Ghostbusters, nothing new so far. And Goosebumps. Now this is what I'm going to take my time with because I only have the one haunted mask from Tots that was given to me by my lovely fiance and the beautiful mother of my child. And I want to definitely add a haunted mask 2 to it, the TV version. But I would really like to add some of these vinyl masks. You can't really see it. I'm covering up this bottom corner here, but the haunted mask down here and the mummy is like right here. The Mud Monster. Of course, we're getting a new Slappy dummy that is pretty reminiscent of the book cover, which I think is super, super sick. We get a Horrorland wooden sign. That's actually pretty sick. Again, I have a whole Goosebumps collection of stuff, and I don't talk about it or anything. Definitely gonna have to make a video. Moving on, we get Thanksgiving. Not my thing. Twisted Metal, again, not my thing, but it looks pretty sick. Cheney, we get Wolfman, Phantom, and a Green Phantom. Goonies, One-Eyed Willie, new for 2026, and a Sloth Mask. Again, not really gonna stop until something piques my interest, which we are getting to right here. But we have the Lost Boy stuff over here. I've actually seen these in person. I think the David is pretty cool. The Michael's pretty cool. I don't know. I have a hard time wanting to add those to the collection, even though Lost Boys is probably my favorite vampire movie. Beetlejuice Snake Puppet new. That's pretty cool. But we look over here, and we have Scorpion, we have Reptile, we have Sub-Zero, we have Smoke, new for 2026. Super, super dope masks. And, of course, the Baraka that is based on a mask that I have a blank of. Moving on, we have Nightmare on Elm Street, nothing new. Jason Goes to Hell, nothing new. We get a new Nun mask. I really don't give a shit. Gremlins sticking around. I would like to get this Gizmo. I know it's not new, but I really want to get a Gizmo prop. I think a little Gizmo would be sweet to have on the shelf or just kind of about the room. Hobbit, nothing new. Scooby-Doo, nothing new. None of this stuff really piquing my interest. Toxic Avenger, nope. Clown in the Cornfield. Yep. Yeah, Return of the Living Dead, sweet, but don't really care. Creep Show, always gotta show love to Creep Show. Saw, Evil Dead 2. Again, a lot of this stuff is nothing new. Krampus, Gingerbread Men. I don't know. We're getting a retro Sam mask from Trick or Treat. Love Trick or Treat, but I don't know. I really, really hate the Trick or Treat Studios burlap, big, giant latex dome. Sleepy Hollow, which is a pretty cool addition. We get Light Up Pumpkin, Horseman Skull, Candy Pail, Horseman's Sword, and Horseman's Axes. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. I'm sorry that I'm blocking the whole bottom corner of this. Let me see if I can actually... Okay, so I'm a little bit smaller, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. But... we have Silent Night, Deadly Night, Scary Stories, Army of Darkness. We're getting a new Ash mask. Killer Clowns. Would love to add Killer Clown masks to the collection, but dear God, these are so hard to find. I think that's the thing, is that unless you are ordering directly from Trick or Treat, or like a third-party retailer, finding these things is not easy at all. Leprechaun, that looks pretty decent. I mean, it is a catalog photo, and we know how that goes with Trick or Treat. Chud. That reminds me of some local drama going on. Minion from the Gate. Okay. Strangers, Jeepers Creepers. Motorhead, King Diamond, Guar. Oh, we are getting a retro Odorous. That's something that I will definitely have to pick up. I really want like a full-on Odorous head. Because you can't buy replicas because Guar does not allow people to make replicas. So hopefully at some point Trick or Treat can make replicas that we can buy. Because I'm tired of not being able to have Guar stuff in the collection. Iron Maiden. Okay. More Iron Maiden. Ghost. We have Papa 4 and Papa 5. don't really give a shit about them anymore. We have a retro Captain Spaulding and a chicken bucket. Call me stupid, but I really want the chicken bucket. We have Mabry's Monsters, which are always sick. Killer Goalies, which is the way to get around not having the license to Friday the 13th. Yeah, generic hockey mask. Gotta love it. Chamber of Horrors. Yeah. Don Post stuff. Again, this is a lot of stuff that I love. I really want to get a Kirk to add to the collection. Glow and Ghoulies. That is super sick. We have Ghost Skull, Tor Johnson, Nosferatu. Super sick. Gotta love the line of Don Post skulls. Of course, we have the pumpkin. I need to add that pumpkin to the collection. Pretty much just the pumpkin. Because I have a Don Post 2012 set right there. But that pumpkin, my friend VJ, Doom Room Studios, has one of these, and I got to see it in person, and it is definitely a lot better than any of the other pumpkins that they've made before. It is very much true to the original Don Post H3 pumpkin, and this is my favorite mask from H3. I have it literally tattooed on me. Nothing new, but it's just kind of a reminder I need to get one. Elusive Concepts, cool. Trick or Treat Originals, not really seeing anything here. The new stuff, the Monster Skull and Leonard. Nothing really piquing my interest with those. The Wraith is always cool to see. Wrapping paper, we're getting Lament Configuration wrapping paper and Fallout Vault Boy stuff. Of course, the regular assortment of the wrapping paper that they produce. A new art ornament. None of this stuff really, does a lot for me. Statues. Cool. No, okay. Ultimate Sam doll. Micromaniacs. That is what it is. Giant size 12-inch tall figures of Captain Spaulding, new for 2026. For some reason, I didn't think this was new for 2026. Maybe I just saw like a leaked picture somewhere or something, but I could have sworn that this was already released. I don't really keep up with a lot of Trick or Treat stuff, to be completely honest, besides like kind of the beginning of the year catalogs. Of course, we have the 1/6 scale figures. Cool. Scream Great 8-inch scale collector figurines. I think these are all just like static figures. They may be posable. I can't really tell. Leprechaun, that's sick. Terrifier. Okay, hold on. Why does that not say Art the Clown? I know this is probably like super nitpicky, but what the fuck? I mean, I guess so. Like, all of these say like the movie title, but all the other ones, like, all the new ones say the movie title. But I mean, I guess Maniac Cop, yeah. Leprechaun, yeah. Crow, no. So like these two, like, why did you not put the actual names? Yeah. More action figures, whatever. The 5-inch figures are new. Super cool to see. I really do like this style of figures. I think these would all be pretty sick. I definitely want to add the Killer Clowns to the collection. Maybe the Trick or Treat figures, not entirely sure. I have a couple of Goosebumps figures left, and I really want to get some Guar figures. Moving on, Bozo is new. Nothing else new. Getting a chainsaw keychain. I really wish it didn't have like the words Texas Chainsaw Massacre written on the blade, or the bar of the chainsaw. I really don't like that. I don't know why. Like, I think it just looks really cheesy. Nothing really new. Wait, are these enamel pins? Oh, these are magnets? Oh, wall decor. I'm fucking stupid. Gremlins. Terrifiers, pretty sick. I feel like they really missed the ball with all of these being new for 2026. I feel like they could have rushed to get those out end of year 2025 for the holiday season. Saw new for 2026. King Diamond, okay. I really hate that Myers. I don't know why. It just looks really fucking goofy. We get some bags. The Lament configuration and Art the Clown again. So Bloody Art Bag, Flower Art Bag. They couldn't call him Art with the action figure because they're stupid. Wallets and purses and bags. Tabletop games. I did just get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game for Christmas, so I need to actually make time to play that. It seems pretty cool. But none of this really interests me. Yeah. So that's... They literally have coloring books and puzzles. Okay. More releases coming to Toy Fair. Okay, and it looks like we're at the end. We have a pumpkin with a little heart on his ass. So overall, I think that is cool to look at the Trick or Treat catalog. I know that at some point I just kind of went really negative on Trick or Treat. I think it's just because I see some cool stuff, but I see a lot of stuff that it's just like, man, like, if y'all would take the focus away from doing things like this, I feel like the other end of the spectrum could be a lot better. But also just kind of my bitter feelings towards the way that they run their entire website and the fact that you can only find certain versions of their stuff in stores like Spirit Halloween or costume shops. And unless it is specifically ordered, there's a lot of stuff that you cannot buy unless you either buy directly through them or through an internet reseller or retailer for Trick or Treat. And as of late, I've found that a lot of those people upcharge, and I don't know when or why that started. I feel like a lot of this stuff is just kind of like, it's cool to see. I think that there are some really cool additions. There's definitely stuff I want to add to the collection, like the Hellraiser stuff, some more Goosebumps stuff, that Ultimate Sam. Love it. But at the end of the day, I know that it's going to be a pain in the ass to acquire most of the stuff that I want. But also, there's just so much fluff in there. There's so many things that it's like they got rid of the Child's Play license. They don't make the Chucky dolls anymore. But they make like a shit ton of puzzles and like a shit ton of statues and Christmas ornaments and shit like that. And it's like, man, like, I get that there's probably a market for that, but dear God, like, you gave up something really cool that you made that, like, I have the plush and the foam body, and you gave that up to only produce more shit like tabletop games, puzzles, and Christmas ornaments. Like, I just don't get it. But yeah, overall, I think it's cool to see. I will be making a video kind of airing my grievances towards Trick or Treat in the very near future, but I figured I would take the time to make a pretty quick, I guess as quick as possible, to go through 120 pages of mostly stuff that was already available. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please comment down below, let me know what you think. And I know the video quality is probably weird, and the mic quality is probably like way better, but it's because I'm using like my microphone, like my dedicated microphone, but I'm also using a webcam to record this instead of my actual camera, just so I could do the screen capture in OBS. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, all that shit. Once again, I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys next time.